Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a good time. I was not really having a good time reading the book that we're gonna be talking about today. Rode Sneeuw in December, or Red Snow in December. This is a historical novel, which I've never read before, which might have something to do with my perception of the book, I guess. Maybe the genre just wasn't my thing. The reason that I decided to read this book is because my grandma recommended it to me. So, you know, when your grandma says, yeah, read this book, you're gonna read it, right? So let's first judge the book on its cover, because I think that's important and we deserve to do it. It's kind of boring. I don't know if you can see properly, but like the font is like weird for some reason. Like it's okay, it's not too bad, but it looks a bit like amateur. Well, it's like a necklace that doesn't have anything to do with the book, I just realized. Also, I don't like that her name is just as big as the title. That's just my opinion. Second thing that I noticed, which kind of scared me. This is the author, Simone van der Vlucht. And I didn't expect her to be so prominent on the back of this book, but she was, so she kind of scared me. Not her fault, you know? Also, what I hate, I know this is not the only book to do this, but why is there no summary on the back? The only thing it says that it's a historical novel about love, revenge, and the desire for freedom. But that doesn't tell me anything. Like, that could still be any book. And then they have some quotes. So I was like, oh, these are like some quotes, some reviews about this book. No, they're about another book by her, which is fine, but just confusing. And then the actual summary is in the flap here, which I also hate. Like, why does it have an extra thing and then like the actual book isn't even pretty or something? It's just a red book with like the title there. Let's get back to this book. It's a historical novel. The history here is the 80-year wars in the Netherlands, which, if you don't know, it's when the Netherlands really came together under guidance of the Prince Willem of Orange, and they were fighting against the Spaniards because Spain was very Catholic, and most of the Netherlands was Catholic as well at the beginning, but more of them wanted to be like Protestant or just like not being killed for not being Catholic. So they decided to fight against the rest. The book kind of starts, it has multiple perspectives, right? So you are in the perspective of William of Orange sometimes, but also in the perspective of this woman, or this, I guess she's a woman, she's kind of a girl in the beginning. Her name is Liedewij, and she wants to marry this guy he's not even like a proper Protestant, but he's like, oh, I don't hate Protestants, I think maybe they have like a point. And then Liedewij's father, he's like, no, I don't want that. He's being very dramatic for some reason. And then, you know, he disowns her, they move, they get married, blah, blah, they have children. All the things happen. For some reason, I just couldn't care about Liedewij, and she's like the main character. I don't know, it's not that she's not interesting, I just don't really care for her struggles. I also don't care for her relationship, which is the reason she runs away and like her father disowns her. Because the book starts with saying that, oh, love at first sight is so rare, and she didn't even know if she believed in it. But then she met this doctor and she fell in love immediately. Also, I know this is like the 1500s, right? I know this is a different time. She's like, goes to this doctor. She's like, hi, you're like so much younger than I thought. And he's like, oh, how old do you think I am? And she goes, oh, like a little bit older than I am maybe, because I just turned 20. And he goes, well, I'm 32. He's like 12 years older than her, which I know I'm not being like, oh, that's so weird, I can't believe that's so, like, he's such a horrible person. I know different times, right? But it does make me not care about these people. They don't even like fall in love, they're just like, yeah, we love each other, we saw each other for 1 second, now we're in love. And then it's just a whole bunch of people fleeing away from cities, they get children, Willem of Orange is there, his wife dies, he marries some other girl that he hates, and then also like punches one time. Just a whole bunch of nothing happens. I was gonna say shit. I don't know if I should say shit. However, there are some good parts of this book. It's about 3 chapters. The first one's chapter 30, which starts at page 243. So I will say it's a little bit disappointing that I have to read almost 250 pages before I get to something. When I was reading it, I was like, oh, this is really interesting and cool and smart. It took too long to get there, but like we got there in the end, I guess. But then it only lasts for like 3 chapters and there's still like more than 100 pages to go where it's still like, oh, what happens? This title, very catchy. Red snow in December. You're like, oh, what's going on? Why is the snow red? Is it blood? It is blood. I mean, that's intriguing, right? So what happens in these chapters is that they live in this city called Naarden. And they live there and the Spaniards come and they're like, actually, we don't want you here. And then they're like, we're gonna come in anyway. And they're like, yeah, come in. And then what happens is the Spaniards are there. They're like, oh, everyone should go to the church where it's now City Hall. So we can like say hi, I guess. And everyone who lives in Naarden is like, yeah, we'll go. They go to the church and then everyone's cramped into that church. And the Spaniards, they like open the doors and start shooting and everyone dies. That's insane. That's like so intriguing. Like that's so dramatic. That was the first time I cared about SNEEUW is when she dies. Because like obviously SNEEUW, she lives there. Her family lives there. They all die, which is sad. And it's the first time I felt something reading this book. Like 250 pages in. Her oldest daughter isn't there because she's sick, so she didn't have to go to the church. So her oldest daughter like wakes up and sees that like some shit's going on. They're burning down the other houses, they're like looting them, and then the daughter, she manages to escape, just trying to walk to Amsterdam. I don't know, those 3 chapters were just so good to me. They were so intriguing. There was so much going on. They were like fantastic. It was mysterious. If I were to write a book about something that happened in the 80-year war, it would be about that. I'm just assuming that Van der Vlucht like figured out this happened, had this idea in her mind. It's like, I need to write a book around this. Which is really understandable because that's also what the title was about. This happens in December. It's snowing and the entire snow has turned red from all the blood because everyone died. So those 3 chapters are really good and I just wished the entire book was like that, but instead it's like petty drama. It doesn't really matter. Like I think I just wasn't, I don't know, I wasn't that intrigued. And I did think that the history aspect of it was quite interesting because I don't know a lot about the 80-year war. I know like the basics, I know what happened, but I didn't know like this, first William of Orange did this and then his family and blah, 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 all those things. I thought that was interesting. My other gripe is that sometimes it felt a little bit too much like a history lesson. Sometimes I was just reading it like, oh, okay, and then these people conquered this city and these people conquered that city. I'm like, wow, that's so cool, I guess. So I think overall I would say that like the story is severely lacking here. It's too long. It also spans 26 years. Spans over 26 years. So I just don't get to spend enough time with these characters to care about them. Also, yeah, what I was going back to, the necklace on the cover, I think it's kind of referring to how before SNEEUW and her children and her family, they went to the church, she like made one of her daughters grab all her jewels and like put it into a snowman in the snow so it wouldn't be seen. And then afterward, like the oldest daughter survives, she grabs it. So I think that's what it's like referring to, like the necklace in the snow. But as I said, the title and the cover is all about 3 chapters in the book, and this book has like 50 chapters and 3 of them were like good. So I just don't think I would recommend this book, but I will read more Dutch books again. I think I should rate this. I think it's a okay out of good. So yeah, that was this week's video. I hope I'll see you guys next time with a better book, hopefully. Maybe I'll do 2 books. I've been reading these like really short books, so maybe I'll do like a couple of them. So keep looking out for that and make sure to subscribe and like the video. And if you subscribe, you'll see the new videos in your subscription box. So that'd be great. Okay, that was the video.